Welcome to the Sheepless Live podcast. We are your hosts, Yvonne de la Flor
and Severine Nassens, and we are the founders of the Sheepless Life Academy. Join us at sheeplesslife.com for a free and exclusive masterclass on sheepless living.
We created this podcast for women like you, who are ready and eager to live and lead without the herd mentality.
Women who are ready to be, not who your parents told you to be,
not who the system expects you to be,
not who the media wants you to be,
but who you can truly become.
So relax, step out of the herd for a moment,
grab something to sip on, and have a pencil at hand just in case you feel the urge to take some notes.
Let's get the show on the road. Yvonne, I'm so happy to be back on the air with you, sitting next to you together. This time we have the pleasure of sitting on a sofa, really comfortable, and there's a couple of themes that we want to share with everyone. And the first one is about receiving feedback.
Yes, today we're going to talk about the power of feedback, and we're in a room at a beautiful hotel in Cancun, looking at the beach and thinking about feedback because we just got some powerful feedback. And but before we start the topic, we're going to cover 3 points. 1, the power of feedback. 2, the loss that you may have when you don't pay attention to it, or too much attention to the feedback. That not all feedback is good. Some feedback is to let go. And 3, how you take that feedback into something called feed forward.
Absolutely.
So we have 3 points.
Well, the one thing is that among friends, I think it's important that we have people around us that are willing to give us what I call the brutal feedback, which is the naked, the naked truth, the real feedback that you can actually use and transform, like you say, in something you can feed forward. You put that into action. You take decisions based on the truth that people share with you, because oftentimes, especially about business, if we talk about business, for example, it comes into the situations where people will hold back and will not tell you what they think, or they will not tell you what they see, or they will hold back on certain information because they don't want to hurt your feelings, because they don't dare, because they think that you would get mad at them. Right. Or they don't allow themselves to step forward with that certain information that they see, hear, or have to share with you, because they're too afraid of what others will think.
That's it.
And what you may think, and they are afraid of losing a friendship. In our case, I think that we've grown to a certain point where we allow ourselves to be brutally honest.
Well, it's because you love honesty. You know, I want to say something. I love brutally honest. I don't know if feedback is brutality or lying about the feedback that you don't want to give because you are more afraid of what people's reaction. Mm-hmm. That's brutality.
Absolutely.
Because I want to tell you something in business. You mentioned business. As business women that we are. In business, the feedback not given is costly.
Yes.
It costs your production. It costs you time. It costs you to have the wrong people in your team.
Yes.
That not having feedback and just making it about emotions, you guys, and we're women, yes. We have a lot of emotions, but making feedback about emotions, about what people may think of us, that's the core teachings of the Sheepless Life.
Yes, absolutely.
Not really caring for what people think. That doesn't mean being disrespectful, but taking feedback. You love feedback. I love feedback, and the rawness it is, the better for me.
Yes.
We still have the power of decision making to see, okay, this resonates with me, and some part of the feedback, you know, some of us project our own stuff. Mm-hmm. But I take feedback as a very valuable asset, not only for myself, but for the future of those I serve. Mm-hmm. How can I grow better without feedback? It's impossible, because the blind spots, the things that I don't see, are going to be blind spots in me until someone else points them out.
Absolutely, because there's many things that when you're immersed in a situation, in a business, in a relationship, there are certain things that you you won't see because you don't want to see them, or simply because you can't reach that point. You can't see them. And it's very important to me to have people, for example, my husband.
Oh yeah, I love him.
He's absolutely...
Can I say that I love your husband?
Yes, you can.
Yes, thank you.
But I love him more.
Yeah, that's your husband. He's my friend.
But he's absolutely raw when he comes forward with feedback, and I really love that because I don't take it personal to start with. I receive the feedback and I analyze every single point that he shares with me, and I look at what things I can improve thanks to that feedback. And we were just talking with him earlier on, and he gave us some feedback.
I love his feedback. I love that he said, I don't want to be that raw, and I'm like, please be raw. I just know, like you, myself, and a friend of ours, Katerina Satori,
Yeah.
we love, it's like the toughest the feedback. We think, the ego, the loyalties, the emotions think that feedback is brutal. But honestly, that's the best thing someone can do, because if you are drowning in your own delusion, if you are drowning in your own ego, like for me, that I do big projects, I don't stay, well, you've seen it.
Yes.
Anything that I start small, I experiment, and if it gives result to people, I begin to build up, and it suddenly becomes bigger. But when it becomes bigger, I can't do everything by myself.
No, we can't. And we have to accept that we need the help from others to be able to grow, and having another set of eyes watching out for you, because the people that are honest enough to give you that feedback are the ones that they're watching your back. They have your back, and they're there with you to protect, to serve alongside you, and having another set of eyes from another standpoint.
So that's the power of feedback, because we said we were going to do three things. The second aspect of feedback is the power of it. It brings you protection.
Yes.
It brings you growth. It brings you the right people in your life. Like me, I am so grateful that I can collaborate with you and that we're partners, because not only the values are not only similar, but you, for example, you see things I don't. I see things you don't. And we both love that honesty.
Yes.
And so that helps us not only grow as individuals, but also in the businesses of the people that we serve. We know, okay, this didn't work. We don't take it personal, but we implement it. Like right now, this podcast has the feedback of our listeners. We're implementing.
Yes.
So that's the second aspect. We said the number one, like the power of feedback. Two, the cost. What is the cost of not paying attention to feedback?
Oof. Now that can be very costly. It can. No, we don't think. We know. It's like been there, done that. Got the T-shirt. Been through the whole thing. When you don't pay attention to that feedback, you end up paying a price, and that price can be It can be a toll. It could be on your health, on your finances, on your businesses, on your relationships, and one of the teachings within the Sheepless life is that you become raw and honest with yourself.
Yeah, you don't have to keep decorating your words on feedback for others. And you know what I see the danger it is on not receiving feedback and not wanting also, when you are asked to give feedback, to give it raw with you still give it with respect.
Yes, absolutely.
There's I know we have 3 points, but there's some aspect of feedback that you don't want to listen, and it's from the people that don't bring solutions, that they just complain, that they just want to see you fail. Believe me, there's people that want to see you fail. There's people that are envious. There's people that are jealous, because jealousy and envy exist when producers are around. Because the jealousy and envy comes from people that are not willing to do the work. Women and men, right? Or not. I don't know. If I'm okay if I'm wrong, but that's my experience.
Yes.
But the cost of not listening to feedback, you said it, your relationships too. It costs you. Because you begin to create a facade. I'm okay. And inside of you, you hate, you make feedback about you. It's a wound. You begin to hate people. You begin to not like your job. you are not taking experience in, you are not taking the lesson in, and it costs you. And so you start believing that you are the mask you are wearing.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
And
That's
dropping
good.
the mask.
Yes, you start believing, and in the Sheepless Life Academy, we have a teaching on how to take off the
How to
mask.
take off the mask.
But
and
you
it's
start
powerful.
believing that you are the identity of the mask you are wearing. How many people, me that I'm in the spiritual, niche and everything, oh my gosh, there's thousands of gurus right now saying that they are not gurus. Believing the mask and still behaving like gurus. They're still philosophers, philanthropists, etc., but that use the label, and if you give them feedback, hey, I see this, there's something not congruent, they will crumble. And the thing is, they will try to destroy you. Or you will try to destroy someone else if your identity is vested into certain illusion or mask that you're wearing. If someone comes with feedback, hey, Yvonne, like I got incredible business feedback today. Make sure to screen well your people, make sure to choose well, etc., etc. If I say like, oh my gosh, he's totally a mean person but for giving you this feedback, I lose the opportunity not only to attract great people, I'm losing great people, to say goodbye to the people that I don't want to be with. That benefits them too. Because if I'm hanging around with people that it's not good for them, not good for me, it's not good for anyone.
No.
And so that's that the feedback gone wrong, right? The feedback that you don't receive, that you don't use, that you don't leverage, and that's a highly cost.
Absolutely, and the cost can go very far. And the idea of receiving the feedback is to put that feedback into actions, take action upon that, and move forward so that you can improve on whatever you receive the feedback on, and be true to yourself. Always be true to who you are and leave those masks aside.
Right. But feedback helps us grow, feedback helps us move forward, and feedback given from someone. I'm very discerning who gives me feedback. I want to make sure that the people that is giving me feedback, do you have experience in what you're saying?
Yes.
Do you have results? I don't want opinions. Opinions waste my time. Feedback, if you are going to spot a problem, I love Tom Bilyeu that has a great podcast. Love it. That I don't remember the name, but I remember the name of Tom Bilyeu. He did a quote that I love. He said, avoid giving rewards to yourself or to others for spotting problems, unless when you spot a problem, you also give a suggestion for a solution. Being solution-oriented comes from feedback. Good feedback given, it's millions in your bank, it's incredible more leverage for driving up your service into excellence mode for the people that you serve, and it just makes a much, much better life. And the third thing we said is how to take feedback into feed forward. Very simple. What do you think?
Return the feedback.
Take immediate action.
Yes.
Right? What does it serve me that they say when we ask for people here at the podcast, hey, give us your feedback and comments. If there is something, a blind spot for us, hey, we want to hear you more. We want to hear examples. And we say, wow, what a great feedback. But we don't do it and we do the same that before.
Then we're putting that feedback and it becomes just...
The lack of results is on us.
Absolutely.
That's it. 3 things. So, brief summary. Feedback is great for growth. The cost of feedback may be your relationships and maybe your identity too. And how do you take feedback into feed forward? Take immediate action, and don't take the feedback personal. It's never personal. No. It never will be. It's just tools that will help your craft drive itself towards more excellence and grow stronger in your business, in your relationships, and your life. Anything else to say?
Amen
Hallelujah.
to that. All right. Well, this is it for this podcast, and we will be in touch for the next one.
Subscribe to this weekly podcast on iTunes, Google Play, or Stitcher. Share your thoughts with us on Facebook.com/Sheepless Life Academy and learn firsthand how to live a sheepless life with Yvonne and receive an exclusive in-depth masterclass at sheeplesslife.com.